as we wind down from the excitement of qualifying, here's a look at your top three. A Renault, Ricciardo and Kimi Räikkönen. With qualifying complete, all that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then. Hard work, ingenuity and ambition. All things you'll find in abundance amongst the 15 million people of Shanghai over there to our southeast. And we've got plenty of that here on the grid as well. 20,000 horsepower, give or take, chomping at the bit to be unleashed for the Chinese Grand Prix. Shanghai International Circuit then, a 16-corner high-speed thrill ride. The long and ever-tightening right-hander at turns 1 and 2 tests a driver's patience, and the flat, open to the elements location, tests their skill in a crosswind. 2 DRS zones will assist passing, and overtaking is available into turn 1, and of course down the kilometre-long back straight into the hairpin at turn 14. Joining me once again to take you through this race is the effervescent Anthony Davidson, and I'm very much looking forward to it getting underway. You raced here, of course, didn't you, back in your Super Aguri days in that infamous Chinese Grand Prix of 2007?
Yeah, that's right. I didn't last that long, though, unfortunately. Qualifying had gone pretty well, but my brakes failed quite early in the race, around lap 10 or 11, something like that. And of course, back in 2004, I was the very first Formula 1 driver to complete a lap of this circuit. Just thought I'd mention that for you, Crofty. You like a good stat. It's a fairly tough circuit on the brakes here, though. You know, it's that long back straight down into turn 14, and then you got turn 6 and 11. They're quite heavy as well. On top of that, managing your front tyre wear is always a challenge around here, so there's a lot to keep in mind during the Grand Prix.
You've done well to put it on pole, but we've still got work to do. Trying to cover the inside line off the start.
With that then, let's run through the grid order. It's Renault in pole position then, with Daniel Ricciardo slotting in alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid we have Räikkönen, Alonso, Lewis Hamilton and Verstappen, Rosberg, Button, Vettel and Valtteri Bottas, Sainz, Massa, Romain Grosjean and Nasser, Perez, Kvyat, Nico Hülkenberg and Kevin Magnussen, Wehrlein and Gutierrez, Rio Haryanto and Marcus Ericsson rounds off the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Everything looks good on the power unit cycle, so let's concentrate on bringing tyres and brakes up to temperature. You're gaining by 2 seconds a lap. They're on fresh softs. There's 5 laps of fuel remaining. Okay, some information on Raikkonen. They're speeding up again, so I expect they've fixed whatever the problem was. We have 2 laps of fuel remaining. You're sat in P2. Rosberg ahead. 11 seconds separate you. They're extending their advantage by 2 seconds a lap. They're on fresh softs. Vettel behind. The gap is 3 seconds. They're on fresh softs. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. 2 laps left. Next time by will be your final lap. Engine mode much longer. We're only about a lap over target. Drop down to mix too soon. Great drive. We're really happy with that performance.
And here are our podium drivers today after that excellent race. They've excelled here, as they so often do, and it's a well-deserved victory. Mercedes, then, are on top today. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. Well, the gap at the top of the championship has been cut down after a difficult race today for our championship leader. Now then, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
Let's give it to Sergio Perez. That was a commanding performance today. Very impressive indeed.
On to the constructors then. Mercedes have extended their lead at the top of the standings. Meanwhile, Renault move up the table with another strong performance this weekend. That's it for today's Grand Prix, and from Ant and I, it's goodbye and see you again next time.